Okay, guys, we're ready to start the presentation. Okay, so we're going to talk about Onshape for FRC. I'm the mechanical CAD subteam lead on Fairdermis. My name is Zoe.
I'm Andrew. I am the technical team captain for Ferrodermis.
Okay, so Onshape, we just started using it last year. It's cloud-based online web software. It allows for real-time collaboration, which we really like because it lets you collaborate live on projects. That was really helpful for us this particular season because we had something like 4 snow days, like right at the start of build season, where we were trying to do all our CAD. So that was really great. It's accessible on Chromebooks, so everyone can access it. Everyone can make a free account. Free licenses for students. So yeah, that's cool. Updates regularly.
Yeah, so the updates are part of it's just part of Onshape since it's web-based. It'll just get pushed automatically, so you don't need to worry about updating or maintenance or any of those things, or crashes, since it's all on servers.
So the file and data management is not like any of you who ever used Inventor, you have to kind of get GrabCAD or some other software, and you have to like push and pull, like that's different. It's just over the cloud, so there's no like you save it and then your friend can do it. It's just all being saved constantly, like a Google Doc. You have link sharing and permissions, so it's very easily shareable to the rest of your team. People who, like with the traditional software, some people who might be on different teams might not be very familiar with the user interface of like Inventor, so the sharing is a lot easier since, getting on Chromebooks and stuff.
And then one other thing, it is professional grade software. It's not like Tinkercad. And there's a lot of support for FRC specific stuff, which we'll get into soon.
Yeah. And there's version control, which is very helpful. It's good for learning because if you let a freshman do some stuff and they mess up, it's no big deal. You can just go back in the version history. Um,
So pros and cons, it's beginner friendly. There's a lot of support for it, and it's relatively intuitive. It's similar to SolidWorks or Inventor, but I guess there's a few things that make it simpler and also unique, like the part studios versus just individual parts. But then there's a lot of FRC specific support. You can find lot like most teams are using Onshape now. Find all of their CAD on Chief Delphi with just a link versus downloading their CAD and creating your own copy of it. It does require an internet connection. You aren't able to access it offline at all because it's all in the cloud. And then I guess it does take quite a while to render some more complex geometries. Like some of the feature scripts, which we'll get into later, they take a long time to render, which is one of the biggest downsides.
Also, crashes are totally eliminated. Like, it's great. So team collaboration and workflow. I think, have found much better success with Onshape in terms of our team working together between, our mechanical team, our CAD team, electrical, just because of the sheer accessibility of it compared to like something that we have 2 CAD laptops, and previously we could only run CAD on those laptops, so pretty much only the people who are making the CAD were seeing the CAD. And that's different now, which is great. So organization-wise, he was talking about the user interface and file management. They're very user-friendly. The sharing is good. The actual, like when you first open the app, the actual organization of all of your files, your folders, your subassemblies is very simple. We just created a anonymous account that pretty much anyone can get into just from their Chromebook with a password. That works really well. So assigning projects and tasks within your CAD team and your mechanical team, I think it becomes easier with online software just because of the, like I was talking, like you can't, with a big something that you can only run at robotics. Yeah.
And like the team collaboration, like it is able to run on a Chromebook, so then we're able to just pull it up on any device. Like I can be working on the CAD during class instead of just at home or during robotics, which is sort of nice. And then the like real-time collaboration, like you can see who's looking at what file at what time, and it'll show their little profile picture while you're each working on it, which is sort of cool. And then the reason we actually switched to Onshape was because beginning of last season when GrabCAD wasn't able to work for us anymore, they changed how some things worked for it, so we weren't able to use Inventor as seamlessly. So a week into the season, we decided to give Onshape a try for a week and see how it went, and then we really liked it and stuck with it for the rest of the season.
Yeah, there's live commenting, which is cool. We haven't really used that a lot, but I mean, we just message through Basecamp, but if we did, it would work really good. And then we already talked about the documenting changes. But the other cool thing about the collaboration is not just the sharing, but the accessibility. It makes it really easy to take something that you're designing and send it off to be manufactured with like a lot better communication between the people who are doing that. Like I remember there's lots of times where I was making something and then the person machining it could just look at it on their Chromebook and be like, oh no, don't do that. That's really hard and too convoluted. So that's a lot more efficient. And like Cha-Cha knows that you can just take a link and just send it in a message and then you can put it on a 3D printer and that works really good. Features.
So these are some of the things that we actually use in Onshape to help us build the robot. So there was another training just before us in a different room, but for CranCAD, which is pretty much just a really simplified version of your robot for creating rough drafts and just getting a general idea of the archetype that you want to do for your robot and just like setting out spaces for what subsystems will go where you want them. And it's a really quick and easy way to get a functional idea going before you actually invest a lot of time on something that might not work.
Okay, so this is kind of like an app. You can go into Onshape and you can install it. It's free. It's got 4 stars and 98 ratings, so that's how you know it's really good. So it's basically just a huge, I forgot what that stands for, something off the shelf.
Consumer off the shelf.
Consumer off the shelf parts library. So basically it's just a ton of stuff and you just, after you install it, there's on this little side tab here, it's just this little blue icon. Oh yeah.
Which we can
Mm-hmm.
show what it looks like. So in an assembly, we have this inserter on the side here. If it'll load, there we go. But then we have access to all of these different parts and can really simply just insert it into the assembly without needing to download it or anything like that.
It's like really time saving. I remember before we had that going to like every single website and downloading the right file type of every single electronic, then putting it in, and then obviously it wouldn't go in correctly, so I'd have to go and mate all the sides together or something. So this is great. 100 100% out of 10 recommend it. It's got swerve modules. There are lots of configurable parts. So like stuff that after you insert it, you can go in, right click, and change the sizes, or you know stuff like that.
And it's constantly being updated too. There's a Chief Delphi thread for additions that should be made to it, and they're constantly working on improving it.
The other cool thing is that there's game pieces and field elements, which is really useful, so that you don't have to go find them somewhere suspicious. Um,
Right. FRCdesign.org. I guess this is a more recent addition. It was, or it's owned by West Coast, I think, but it gives a lot of resources for FRC specific design in engineering, and it can walk you through the process of how you go from an idea to having a finished part, like everything that goes into how you design for manufacturing.
yeah, the learning course is very comprehensive. And then the mechanism examples are also cool. They've got a really organized. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, we can pull that up really fast.
Like, if you're looking for ideas for a shooter or an intake or a drive base, then you can just go here, and it's got some really good places to start.
Yeah, so there's a lot of examples of robots, and not completely finished yet, but there'll be a description for each one and what features it has and why people chose to make the decisions that they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really helpful to be able to look back on what others did and how you can use that for your own designs. It's
Mm-hmm.
taking a little while to load, but yeah, so there's A Team's cat. I'm not sure whose it is, but being able to open it really fast and take a look and then learn about why they did what they did is really valuable.
Mm-hmm. Feature scripts. So it's a little hard to explain. He'll show you in a second, but they're basically like on your little toolbar on the top, you have an option to add feature scripts, which are basically like built-in.
They're just like regular CAD tools, but you import them essentially. Like it's not an official part of Onshape, but like you have your extruder, revolve, or that sort of thing. The feature scripts work just like that. There's a lot of that FRC teams have made and developed that help save a lot of time when designing stuff like custom belt and pulley generators. We have a list of some of the most useful ones here that we're using all the time, but there's a lot more that we have installed that save a lot of time. Like this, I was able to throw together in about an hour using various feature scripts, which I can
And
pull up now.
that's not an assembly, is it? It's just
No, it's
a
just
part.
in one part studio.
Yeah, it's great.
So we have links here for all the feature scripts that are FRC specific on the Google slides. But then actually in Onshape, when when you're in a part studio, which this is our CAD for this year, but over here in this corner, this is all the feature scripts that we have installed. So you're like there's anything like belt and pulley generators. You're able to do like double-sided. I guess it takes more setup than what we have now, but things for extruding your tubes really simply and then getting easy made drill patterns. And then recently found one for bevel gears, which is pretty cool, I guess. I really, sorry. I guess there's just a lot, and there's so many resources for it that you can find, and you can actually create your own if you, I guess it's a little convoluted to figure it out from the beginning, but it's a really valuable tool.
Once you figure it out, it's like extremely much faster than just making your own bearings and mating them into holes and whatnot. Um, that's about it for those, I think.
Right.
Um,
Does anybody have any questions? Yep.
So, so for this year, we're going to be using an aluminum base for our robot, and part of that, we're going to be having a kind of diamond pattern
Yep.
for that base. So I was wondering what tools you'd use to help get that kind of sketched out.
Yeah, there's a feature script we have that will do that automatically.
let me make a new.
I'm not sure if I have it right now, but can create a part studio and show you real quick. But it's just using a feature script. I think it's called Cheese It, but it includes the weight savings. Is that what you're talking about? Like that diamond pattern?
Yeah. I saw in one of the CADs that but I'm not sure if it was your guys' design or if it was someone else's that had that. And then we're going to
Oh,
be CNCing that.
Oh,
like this sort of pattern?
Yeah, like that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so there's feature scripts. This is the one we have. There's a lot of different patterns you can do.
Okay.
So just to create those weight savings, you can do different shapes and stuff really quick.
What's the name of the?
That one is Cheese It. In on frcdesign.org, there's a page for all of the feature scripts. Yeah. So you can go to that and it gives you a list of all the feature scripts that teams have put together.
Okay.
So then you can use that and take a look at what you need.
you can also make your own, like with programming, if you want. I don't. I don't know if there's anything that I
Yeah.
can think of that hasn't been done already, but yeah.
When you
want to do
actually
that.
go to the link, you can see the Python code, I think it is for it,
Mhm.
but that actually sets up all of the, yeah. So that's what runs every feature script. But you can do that yourself if you want, or you can just download it from other people. Any other questions?
Come on, people. Now you can think of something.
No, you're right. Is there anything you miss about Inventive CAD that you wish was on Onshape?
I guess it's able to utilize more of the computer's resources, like instead of just being on the cloud. So if you have something that's pretty hard to render, it Inventor would be able to do it better than Onshape. But there, like costs and benefits, I think Onshape it still comes out on top. Yep.
Do you have any experience importing and exporting assemblies
Yep.
in Onshape? And how does that work?
It's pretty simple. I guess this is a good example. This isn't my CAD or anything, not our laptop, but then you're really simple, able to export. You can choose a bunch of different file types and then export it. And there's also support for importing directly from SolidWorks. So all of the geometries that you've already created in SolidWorks will import directly into Onshape. Yep. Yep.
You tried exporting like from Onshape to Creo, the desktop CAD package at all? Is there any link between the two at all, or?
I haven't used that at all. I get able to export as a basic step file and then importing that into there. All the geometry will be the same, like for 3D printing or that sort of thing. I'm not sure if all of the features that you've used will import.
Probably the features first probably won't transfer over, but probably all with the.
But then, yeah, exporting it as a step file, able to 3D print it or export as a DXF to mill it out or that sort of thing. Yeah, Onshape was actually created by an ex-co-founder of SolidWorks, I think. So there's a lot of similarities between Onshape and SolidWorks. SolidWorks has been moving towards more cloud-based stuff recently because of Onshape's competition. I guess that we're pretty much at time now. Unless anybody has any other questions, we're gonna wrap it up. Yep,
What's your favorite color?
I like red.
Great choice, mine's green.
Cool. All right, I think that's about it. All the time we have for this presentation. Thank you very much for watching.